So in this video, we're going to cover your part A task, which is a newsletter. So if you go to page 5 of 21 in your workbook or your learner's guide, you'll see a list of instructions. Now, in this scenario, what's happened here as an administrator, your CEO has provided you with documents to create a newsletter. Now, what he's done is he's given you a document with the text, and then another document with the same text but with annotated comments of what your CEO is wanting you to do with the formatting of that document. So where you can find that information in those two documents is via Freshie. So I'll get you to log into your Freshie. Click onto Foundation. And then from here you'll see the Business Workplace. So click on the Business Workplace and scroll all the way down until you see Assessment Resources folder. So click on your Assessments Resources folder. So here you go. You've got Hassanova Newsletter Annotated and Hassanova Newsletter Text. So go ahead and click on them both and let them download in Chrome. You may have different options presented to you if you're using Internet Explorer. So what we'll do first is we'll click on here and open the Microsoft Word document. So this saves you from having to type everything out from scratch. And then we'll click on the annotated version here. Now this is a list of instructions here. I'm telling you on what formatting the CEO wants. Now the overall rules on the first few pages that you would have seen indicate that you need to follow a certain structure unless specified otherwise. Now this is an occasion where we do need to follow the same rules, but we need to listen to the instructions specified by the CEO. So in terms of standard text, or in terms of the text, it is telling us to use Calibri 12 instead of your Arial or Arial Black. So we do need to follow those rules, but that's for the body of the text, not the headers or the subheadings. Another one here, it's asking to center the text, and the subheading for this one is centered, but for these subheadings here, as you can see, there's a rule here indicating that you need to make sure that it's left aligned and not hyphenated. So let's get started. Open up your Microsoft Word document. We'll start by saving it first. So click here in File, click Save As, and then click on your OneDrive, this specific education. If you've come to the classes, then you would have already made a folder here. If not, just click Browse, so either or, click Browse. Okay, so this is what I was referring to. If you've been to the classes, you'll already have a folder here with your name followed by Assessment 112. If you hadn't come to the classes and you've missed it, that's okay. Just right click here, click on New Folder, and type in your name followed by Assessment 112. Now once you've made that folder, just click on that folder and rename this file. So we're doing Part A. I've written task for the file name, so you can choose to write part instead of task, either or. Task A, and this is newsletter. And we'll go ahead and save that document. Now what that means now is each time you save this file, you can access it from any standard computer or even your mobile phone as well if you've got an Android or not too sure about iPhone. Okay, first things first, generally what you want to start off with is the page margins. So let's start with that. So if you click on page layout, and you go this area here, which is page setup, click on the little arrow on the right, and then we'll go ahead and increase that to 3 centimeters. Now for left and right, it's 2.5. Awesome. So we've changed the margins. Now also said to change the text to justified 12. So let's go ahead and to justified. So we'll just make sure we justify all our text first. So in this area, going back to page layout and then paragraph, click here and then click on justified. You'll notice that just by making it justified, we've already reduced the amount of space it's taken on the third page. we're about to use reduce the amount of space even further. Now, in this document, if we go back here, so now it's saying that the main heading needs to be centered and so does the subheading, but we also need to place a border around it. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Select these two, center, and then in this area here, the border feature, we'll click on the right and arrow, and then click outside border. So we've just created a border. Let's have a look what else it's asking us. Okay, so it is asking us to change everything into Calibri 12 justified. So it's probably a good idea to change the text before we move on any further. So notice how it's going on to 3 pages. Select all your text. In this area in the Home tab, you'll see here that it's set to some sort of Segoe print or Segoe. We'll see. Click here and we'll change that to Calibri. And we're going back to the file. So that will be Calibri 12. Alright. Okay, now click here where it says special. We need to create 3 columns underneath this box. So if you actually go to page layout, there's an option here for columns. So if you click down to columns and click on more columns, what this lets you do, it lets you separate the pages into separate different columns. So you can choose 3 or more. Just by clicking here, you can increase the amount. So we're just going to go for the 3. And we do want them to be equal column width. Now, it did say about the columns that there needs to be a line separating them. So you'll see an option here that we can create a line to separate them all. Now it says whether or not to do it on the whole document, which we don't want to do, because if we do apply it to the whole document, this title here will be affected. So just going to click that box and click on this point forward. And watch what happens when you do this. There you go. You've got 3 different columns. Now the second part that it's asking for is to hyphenate the text. Now what hyphenating does is it fits it in if a word is too long. Instead of spacing it out, what it actually can do is it can create a line so that it can fit it more onto the page. Now look at how much of the space is used up on these pages. But when we go to hyphenation, which you can find under page layout and then a hyphenation, set that to automatic and watch what happens. So the word enjoyed, instead of going onto a separate line, it's actually hyphenated it. So you see en-enjoyed. And then look at how much space you've saved from that page. It makes it look a little bit cleaner because with justified you'll see some unequal spacing as well. Okay, so let's go back to the headers and the subheadings. So if we go back to the original subheadings here being Arial Black, now that did specify that we needed to do it as Calibri. And it's 14, so let's have a look here. So go to Home, 14. But what we'll actually do is we'll do Arial Black this time. So we'll look for Arial Black. There we go. And we'll do the same thing with the other headers as well. So one thing that you can do to help you save time is if you select this area and double click on Format Painter. What this does is every new heading you do after this will change to the font that you've selected. So let's have a look at our next one. New joint venture. Undercover agents. 5 call mark status. Special packages. Next month specials. Okay. So we've just created headers for that area. Now, once you're done, you click on Format Painter. Now, it did specify not to hyphenate the headers, and where you can see here in Special Packages that it's exactly what it's done. Also, it does specify that it needs to be left aligned, so we need to select all these headings and make sure that we've left aligned the headings as well. You'll notice by left aligning some of these headings, you've got more hyphenation going on as well. So just gonna go back here, next one, specials and special packages. Just by left aligning it as well, you'll notice that it looks a little bit more tidy too. We're gonna get rid of these hyphenations as well for this section here. Okay, so no more hyphenation going on here. Okay, so that's our subheadings done, which leaves us to do our headings. So select this area, back to Arial Black, and that should be 60. Cool. Now there was one more point raised here. If we go back to this document at the bottom, we had to make this list bulleted. Also, it looks like we've missed out another subheading, which is favorite outdoor activities. So let's go back here and look for favorite outdoor activities. Here we go. Let's go back here. Auckland. So we actually need to select that whole section. So go back here, do Format Painter, select it, and there you go. And now it's also specified here that these need to be bulleted from Waiheke all the way to One Tree Hill. So let's go add bullets into that. So select Waiheke. Oh, probably better to go this way then. So select that area, and then what we want to do is we want to create bullets here. So you notice how these are now bulleted. Now there wasn't other rules here that it's asked for. So let's go back to the instructions. So it says Hasanova Hotels monthly newsletter is a centered header in the document. Format the header as Calibri 10 italics. Okay, so that one's nice and easy. So what you can do to get to your header is if you double click here, and then what it wants is Hasanova Hotels newsletter. So we'll just copy that and pop it into here. Centered header, Calibri 12, and in italics. Okay, so go to home. So we're going to go centered, Calibri 10, and in italics. So click to italics. There we go. Now it did say something about a footer as well, so let's go to the footer. Calibri 10 in the footer is the page number. So if we go click in this blank space at the bottom of the page, that actually takes you to your footer. We'll go centered, and we're going to insert a page number here. So what you can do, if we go to page layout, here we go. If you go to insert and then in footer the drop down box, you'll see an option here to put certain specific features. Now what this does is it automatically numbers. So if I click here, banded, it's already got page 1, but if you scroll down here it changes it to page 2. So whatever new pages that you have, it'll indicate there as well. I did say there were certain rules here, so you needed to insert Calibri 10 as well. So we're going to go back to this area and format it Calibri 10. Cool. Now, one more rule before we have this ready. No section of text should flow over from one page to the next. Place a page border around the whole of the newsletter. Whew. It's a bit of a big one. Okay, so what it means by sections, so let's go back here. The sections here is these parts here are each a section. Oh, just going to tidy this up a bit. So each part here is a section. So 1, 2 is a section, 3 is a section, undercover agents is also a section, but if we scroll down here, it's going into another page. So if we click here and click enter, so we move that to another page. Oh, that one we might leave there, but we'll move awesome here.